All right, going to be a bit of a rambly, waffly one, so apologies in advance. But after the recent video I uploaded and chatting with Red, I've decided to look at my hair. Just got out of the shower. I've decided to sort of do little vlogs about the process of recording and what have you. Logic Pros is freaking out to me. Oh, that's right, because I changed something. Going back to the videos from a couple of years ago, I think I did, which was making an album. I did maybe 3 videos on that on the channel. The idea with that was to do sort of like document in video form the making of the album. But as I realized, it was taking quite a bit of time to put those videos together. So you're going to get sort of more low quality or maybe more positive light, shooting from the hip, no editing, or very low editing, sort of little videos are going to put together, which is just this, me talking. So this one, like I said, is going to be a bit waffly. I've been working on Rock and Roll Radio, so that's our next song we're going to put out. And it's been a lot of fun, a lot of learnings from Icebreaker. So of course I'm doing all the editing on this. Sort of Red's helping me produce in a way. So Red's giving me feedback and putting in suggestions. Like for Rock and Roll Radio, his suggestion was to do a gated, the reverse snare sort of effect. So on Billy Squire's The Strokes song, there's that sort of drum hit. It's also in, was it In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins, that sort of dum shum, dum dum shum, dum shum. You get on the snare. So we're going to do that at the start of this song and a couple of bits in the song. But I'm sort of jumping around here, like I said, rambling. So I just fixed an issue I had in Logic. I was mucking around trying to get this sound going and learning how to do that. And I made a complete stuff up with the file. Somehow I couldn't revert the changes I'd made. So I had to go and luckily I saved it back up. And this is always a reminder of myself. I was going to be using this thing called Project Alternatives, but I think I'm going to stick with the backup plan because I edited this. I did something to the file rather than the track. So I think the way anyway, what had happened, I basically made a change to a snare sound, and I can't show you it now because I've changed it again, but I basically wasn't happy with the reverse snare sound. So I've realized I'm going to go and do reverb on the entire kit first and then come back and put that effect in later. And as a result, when I made this change and reverted it back and thought I'll just start again, I just listened back as you should when you make changes and realized that there was a reverse snare hit towards the end of the intro, and it was doing my head in because I didn't touch that. Like everything I did for this sample, I basically took a sample of one of the snare hits from earlier in the song, put it on a separate track to try and do this change, did whatever I did, and then it somehow affected the original track that I did and put it at a random spot at the end of the intro. So that I had to walk away from that because that was like an hour or so of playing around trying to get this sound and then stuffing that up and thinking I've wrecked it here. Then I've been busy, came back to it, just fixed it then, very relieved. I did minor edits to get that working. So I saved it and I've just sort of paused and thought, all right, let's put this video down first and then I might start mucking around with some reverb. I'm going to do another backup first. And then, I'm going to start putting the reverb on the drums. So for that, I actually was sending Red, I said to him, it might have been in the video that I'd uploaded the other day, but I said to him that I'd like to give him updates on how I'm going. And what I was doing was I was talking to my phone just on voice memos and then uploading the transcript of that, the ChatGPT, to make it just a bit better because it is rambly like this video. But it did a really good job of putting together sort of a bit of a blog. So I'm going to read bits of it here to catch you up to speed with what I've been going through on this one. But I won't go through it all. But from now on, I'm going to basically, when I do updates to the song, I'm going to be coming back here and sharing my thoughts out this way. I can send it to Red. G'day, Red. I can put it out on the net, of course, for anyone else. I've been diving deep into the drums for Rock and Roll Radio, working to getting them sounding them big, punchy, and full of life. It's been a journey, but I'm starting to feel like I'm getting somewhere. So I've been loosely following mix of guidance from a couple of YouTube channels, The Band Guide and Joe Gilder. And Joe Gilder was referred to from The Band Guide. Colin on The Band Guide is really good. Some good stuff on basically how you mix using, I think the band guy does GarageBand, and I just bought Logic Pro because it's got some handy features with it and some cool preloaded effects and whatnot like that. So it was, I think a little bit of this post was taking their philosophy on mixing is not just diving into the weeds straight away. You got to listen to it all together and mix from the top down. So what that means is you put all of your, first you do the volume and whatnot. So you put everything into a master bus, or you've got the master output, sorry. And then you do all your actual initial sort of edits there, cleaning it up, making sure that you've got the volume set right, and then pan the mix. Get it to as good as you can, sounding good as you can, without needing to dive into the EQ and the compression to bring it to life. And then from there, you do your EQ and compression. And it's kind of like you go back and forth from that. So I was explaining to Red, your ears get, my ears get fatigued really easily. So I could be listening and doing a mix for about 20 minutes or so, and then I start to just lose track of details and things that I knew I'd picked up before and sort of gone. Quite often I have to walk away for 10 to 15 minutes, let the ears recover, come back. I can hear it a bit better again. Could be just getting old. But the same also after about an hour or so. I could probably go max maybe 2 hours of mixing, and then I have to just put it away for the night because I get lost. Quite often when I come back the next day, there's that thing I was trying to hear straight away and I can fix it. So that takes a long time, as you can imagine. That's over days trying to get it to that level. Then you dive in and start doing things like the EQ and compression. So I routed all the drums into a drum bus and applied the EQ and compression, which is what they recommend as well. Because a big part of this sound and a big part of any of the sounds of the Red Ram is we want, both Red and I agree on this, we love those big drums. Quite often for me, it's almost drums and bass take priority in a way. Like I love my guitars and whatnot, but I really love a song that's got a really good bass and drums in there. It's just it's the heartbeat of the song, really. So what I was getting is a womp womp woof kind of a sound, and it was sapping the energy out of the drums. So I think so what did I do? I added EQ on the drum bus to remove boxiness, like a lot of the tutorials suggested, cutting the mids and boosting the lows and the highs. After some critical listening, I realized the drums actually sat better in the mix without that EQ. So it turns out the fix introduced more problems than it solved. So I turned off the EQ on the drum bus and immediately felt the difference, more natural, more centered. So I went for I was reconsidering a surgical approach to the cymbals. The overhead sounded a bit brittle and harsh. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I think so I got rid of a ping sound that was happening on the snare. It was sort of like, instead of that whap, it was sort of tung. So I removed the sort of that frequency out, and that was cool because you do it on the little EQ graphic and pull out a little bit. So I did that. Kick compression has also been applied to the kick, helping it bring out the punch. Same with the snare. And then I did a bit of parallel compression. So that was the first time I did that. Thing is, I guess to summarize there, is I got a bit better. The drums are sounding better than I'd had, I reckon, on Icebreaker, just through compression and whatnot. I used a sample from the Logic Pro library on Icebreaker, and I think I got too ahead of myself there because I was trying to bolster and get that big sound, and thinking that because we're only recording with 4 mics, that it wasn't going to be enough. When I've played around on rock and roll radio, I realized you can get something sounding pretty good just with the EQ and compression, and don't really need a sample. Now, it'd be nice to obviously have a fully mic'd up kit and being able to have stuff that you can blend in with each other, but it is what it is. We're dealing with the 4 mics, and both Red and I agree, we prefer that natural sound. I've been thinking about this, so as much as I love the sounds, and don't get me wrong, these are multi-million-dollar studios with multi-million-dollar and mixing engineers and producers, won't be able to get to that level. But in terms of inspiration, more recently, so I do actually like the sound that Brendan O'Brien gets on the AC/DC records, more modern recent ones, so Black Ice in particular. But there's some part of that misses a lot of that maybe not live feel, but the raw feeling of the drums. So it's really solid and punchy, but something gets stripped out, and that happens with a lot of modern recordings. Sometimes they sound too good, if you know what I mean. I kind of like the dirt and the grunge of the older albums. So if you go back and listen to the older AC/DC stuff, for example, the drums might not be as solid and punchy and as hard hitting, but they're still energetic and right, sitting there well with everything else. And that's kind of more what we're going for. So I'm actually looking to the overheads in our songs to do more of that general sound of the kit, and then just have the kick and the snare backed by the mic that is on the kick drum and the snare top. Did I always do snare? No, yeah, snare top. So yeah, I think that was it. I did actually send him another one, but I've lost what that was. But I think, yeah, with Rock and Roll Radio, I'm just getting better at the process, at learning what I need to do to get it sounding better. I'm better with my vocals on this, so this is another learning journey for me. Singing, it hasn't come easy. I feel like I can sing okay, like in key and reasonable. I don't have a huge range, but I can sing okay, I feel. It's just that I don't have a lot of struggle with the character of my voice. So I really like your character singers like your Doc Neesons or your Bon Scott, or even to some extent Ian Ashbury. He's maybe not so much rambunctious and over the top, but he's got a real good character. Sort of, it's almost like, yeah, you're playing a character on stage when they do their thing, and that helps with that voice. I can just see them in my head when they're singing, and that's the kind of approach I'm going for. I haven't quite got it yet. I don't feel like I've unlocked that, but just, yeah, over time it'll get better. But what I've done with the vocals in this one, I've put doubles through the entire song, which I haven't done on Icebreaker. And then I've got more additional doubles or backing vocals for the chorus. And then I've also got some of Red's backing vocals in there as well, which helps bring that all up together. What else is more the same? The bass is better. So I did get feedback from other people about the bass being sort of missing in that other mix. I've improved that in this one. It's still not great. I'm not happy with my playing on it. It's been a tricky one. I'm not a bass player, and if you're a muso, you'll know that you can play bass as a guitarist and get by okay, but nothing beats a proper bass player. When you got a really good bass player that can lock in and sit well with the drums, it's a game changer, and that's the one part I'm going to struggle until we do get a bass player. I'm not looking to do that just yet. We're just happy writing stuff on our own. But yeah, it's cruising along. So yeah, long one, but the next one should be shorter, but we'll see. I do like to sort of waffle a bit, and like I said, if you see this blog post, which is only maybe it's more like 4 or 5 paragraphs over me just waffling for 12 minutes, but yeah, I'll try and keep them shortish for the future. But yeah, I've been really enjoying the process, looking forward to it. We've got, Rock and Roll Radio at the moment. Icebreaker's up on the platforms. Rock and Roll Radio is going to coming out next. Then I'm going to start working on a demo for a song called, the working title at the moment is Lamborghini. It's one that Red's written, the lyrics. It's really good. Really great lyrics. I think it's the best one he's written so far, actually, in terms of his stuff. And I've come up with a really good, Red and I sat down. I've got another story behind that. Basically, Red and I sat down for 15 minutes and bashed this one out in terms of what sort of a riff was going to go for it. And it's been growing over the time, so I'm going to put together a demo for that and send that through to him soon. But the next one's going to be Dirty Daisy, and I'm really looking forward to diving into that one, because that one's going to have much more present guitars. This one's got good guitars in as well, but this one's going to be like a dirty, guttural, AC/DC style, Malcolm Young rhythm-driven song, and I really can't wait to do that one. And we've got a whole bunch more that we've got sitting there in the back wait to be working on, but get through these first and then go from there. So that'll do for now. Getting tired. I'll muck around with this reverb and go to bed. See ya.